when the moon is round like a village drum, and the palm tree hums its secrets, who will believe the voice of a child? A long time ago, down in the lush delta, not so far from Yenokua, where the mighty River Niger pathways, one branch dancing west to the Folklore, and the other sliding south to Noah, there lay a sleepy village called Okaturu. Life there moved gently, like a canoe on calm water. In the mornings, men in carved-out canoes paddled into the early mist. By evening, the air was filled with the spicy scent of roasted plantain, fish oil, and the soft crackle of burning wood. But nothing in Okaturu had more power than the single whispering palm. It stood tall, old as time, near the edge of the village, its trunk carved with names of long-gone ancestors, and its long green leaves swaying even when there was no wind. When the dry harmattan blew dust across the land, the tree gave cool shade. When danger threatened, the elders poured palm wine at its roots, and muttered words only the spirits would understand. The tree has ears, they often said. When it speaks, you do well to listen. The bird that ignores the warning of thunder will build its nest in the rain. Mazi Okeze will add, in the mud hut near the tree lived young eagle, a 10-year-old girl as brown as roasted yam and as curious as a cat near a cooking pot. Her beauty wasn't loud, it was soft like the morning dew, its eyes bright like fireflies, and a smile that danced like sunlight on water. She stayed with her grandmother, Ezine, an old woman with silver threads for hair and a voice that felt like warm soup on a cold night. Their home always smelled of pepper soup, smoke from firewood, and the wet, clean scent of river mud from Ego's feet. Child, Ezine would say, a river that forgets where it comes from will dry up under the sun. Listen well, and your spirit will always find its path. One moonlight night, when the whole village slept and the stars blinked lazily, Ego felt something strange tug at her. Her feet moved before her mind, barefoot, heart thumping like a talking drum. Bing, bing, boom. She walked to the palm tree. The night was heavy, the air thick, like soup left too long on the fire. The palm's long shadow stretched across the land like a sleeping snake. And then it whispered, Ego, the river will rise. The Niger will swell and pour more into the Folklore and Noan. The waters will visit Ukaturu. Tell them, child, tell them to prepare. She froze. Was it the wind? Or her dream? Only the deep croak of a bullfrog answered, shaking like a banana leaf in the storm. Ego ran home. Inside, Ezine's sharp eyes caught her fear. Why is the moon in your eyes, child? Ego whispered, No, the palm tree spoke to me. Ezioku, Ezine added. Ego shared every word with her grandmother. Ezine pulled her close, wrapping her in wands. Many will laugh, but the tree has spoken before. Courage is not when your legs are steady. It is when your heart speaks while your lips tremble. She told a riddle to calm her. What has mouth, but never eats, and can drown a village? Ego, still shaking, replied, the river. Good. Even riddles carry warnings, Ezine said. The next morning came with the smell of boiling cassava and sweet plantain porridge. Before the rooster finished his second crow, Mama Nkiru, their jovial neighbor's voice rang through the air. Ha! Ego! The early fish swallows the fattest worm. Wake up! Ego was already dressed. her bare feet dusty. Her eyes set on the beach. Ezine held her hand as they walked. "Let truth be your paddle today," the old woman said. The beach was bustling. Voices, laughter, waves slapping canoes, and children chasing crabs. Mazi Okoro, tall as a palm tree, sat under an almond tree, his coral beads glowing red like fire embers. "What brings you here so early, Ezine?" he asked. "She brings a message from the whispering palm tree," she replied, guiding Ego forward. The girl's leg felt like cooked okra. Trying to stand still with shaky body, Ego began to speak. "The tree spoke to me last night," she said calmly. "It said the river will rise. The water is coming. We must prepare." The beach fell into murmurs. Some raised eyebrows. Then Ikenna, as grumpy as a goat with no rope, scoffed loudly. "Every year the river rises. Next thing, a leaf shakes and you want us to run? Nonsense." Laughter echoed across the sand. Ego's cheeks burned. But then, Ama Nkiru stepped forward, placing her hand on Ego's small shoulder. "Even the tiniest fish can feel the tide before the boatman does. Spirits speak to the open-hearted," she said. Mazi Okoro, ever wise, nodded. "Let every family choose. Watch the river. A wide river does not mean a shallow mine." Some families listened. Others laughed. Behind the dry fish racks, two boys mocked. "One day the tree will grow legs and dance away with Ego." They laughed. Ezine whispered to her again, "Child, fear is not the enemy. The lion still roars, even when its tail shakes." 3 days later, the night came. The silence came. Frogs stopped croaking. The moon rose behind thick clouds. Rain began to fall. First, like tiny feet on a roof. Then hard as drummers at a festival. Thunder cracked. The river boiled. It hissed and roared. The Niger swelled and split its belly, pouring wide water into every corner of Okato. Canoes flipped. Hens screamed. Children clung to elders. But those who listened, Ezine, Ego, Mazi Okoro, Mama Nkiru, and others, were safe on high ground. They shared mass and fire, roasted plantain and snails, while others beat the earth like a bitter husband. Even Mazi Okeze came quietly in the night, no more jokes on his lips. When the sun returned, Ukaturu was wild and muddy. Houses were destroyed, canoes were missing, and lots more of destruction. But its people were alive. They gathered under the whispering palm. Mazi Okoro raised his voice. "Thanks to this child who listened when others laughed, and to the tree that guides us still." He said. They all echoed. Mazi Okeze stepped forward, eyes low. "Forgive me, Ego. I did not believe. May my ears grow younger, even as my beard grows older." From that day, the tree became more than bark and leaves. It became a place of truth. And young Ego, she often sat beneath it, humming, watching, guiding. And even now, when the wind passes through Okatoro, the tree still whispers. Moral lesson: the child who washes their hands well can eat with the elders. Even the smallest voice can carry great wisdom. Age does not own truth, and when we ignore warnings, no matter how small, we invite disaster. Listening with humility can be the difference between survival and regret. Wisdom is not reserved for the old Almighty. It is given by God to those with open heart. Ego's courage reminds us that God can speak through anyone, even a child. 1 Corinthians 1:27. But God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise. God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. Never ignore the voice, even if it comes from a child. Sometimes the wind whispers before the storm begins. Keep your heart open, your ears attentive, and your pride in check, because the message that saves you may not come from where you expect. As we say in Africa, it is a tiny drum that makes the loudest warning in the forest. The wind does not blow for nothing. Sometimes it's God's way of stirring your spirit before the storm comes. Listen well, prepare your heart, and let truth be your paddle. Thank you, my dear friends, for sitting under the whispering palm with me today. If this story stirred something into your heart, if it made you think, smile, or even pause for a moment, then don't keep it. Go ahead and like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. I love hearing from you. Your thoughts are like palm seeds. When you plant them, they grow into something beautiful. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring the bell so you won't miss the next story when the palm whispers again. Until next time, may your ears stay open and your spirit stay strong. Remember, even a whisper can carry the voice of God. Stay blessed and bye.